We live in the age of increasing anxiety. Authors, writers, and most people should know something about it. And I use the song, The Age of Aquarius, sung by the Fifth Dimension, to start this podcast. Back in 1969, this song, plus the hippie movement, lit up the Broadway musical Hair. But current life in America feels more like the age of increasing anxiety. So let's explore why all of us, including writers and authors, should know something about anxiety. Just about all of us feel heightened anxiety that's caused by pressures at work, uncertain world events, or things occurring in our family life. And for authors and writers, knowing the basic why, what, how of anxiety helps them create nuanced characters and place them in stressful situations, leading to storylines and plots that grip the reader's attention. So let's investigate anxiety a bit further. Here's a working definition. Anxiety is a generalized feeling that makes us tense, afraid, and uncertain, particularly about things that are about to happen or which we think could happen in the future. Anxiety is a natural human response when we feel that we are under threat. It can be experienced through our thoughts, feelings, and physical sensations, and it is different than worry. Worry occurs when something has actually happened or is happening to us. Anxiety is an emotion, and according to brain scan experiments conducted by neuroscientists and zoologists, the brains of life forms higher up on the tree of life respond to sensory inputs. High enough up, they know that animals feel emotions and respond accordingly. But so far as they know, only the human brain has evolved enough for consciousness, an understanding of past, present, and future, and a sophisticated language to emerge that would let it distinguish between worry and anxiety. Undoubtedly, zoologists know from animal studies that animals worry constantly about survival. But they think only humans actually feel anxiety. It's highly likely that cavemen felt anxiety. And all ancient civilizations that have written records talk about anxiety. So anxiety is one of the emotions that characterize humans. It is in our DNA. Way back then, civilizations invented myth, philosophy, and religion to help explain the uncertain and frightening world they inhabited. According to an article I read, the early Greek philosophers considered anxiety to be a medical disorder. Ancient Epicurean and Stoic philosophers suggested techniques to reach an anxiety-free state of mind that are reminiscent of modern cognitive psychology. And according to Buddhist teachings, anxiety is a symptom ascribed to Buddhism's Four Noble Truths, which are: life is difficult, and embedded in it is suffering, which causes anxiety. Craving for material wants caused by suffering. Suffering can be eliminated, and the Eightfold Path leads to the liberation from craving and thus to the cessation of anxiety. And the Eightfold Path consists of living your life in a manner that gives the right view, the right resolve, the right speech, the right action, the right livelihood, the right effort, the right mindfulness, and the right concentration. Buddhism names the Eightfold Path Dharma, the righteous moral code, and karma is each individuals past and present, which loops via life, death, rebirth, until the individual reaches nirvana, which is the state free from anxiety and suffering. The Chinese philosopher Confucius says that leading a virtuous life will eliminate anxiety. And Christianity, as well as Islamism, say anxiety is eliminated by following the teachings found in the Bible or the Quran. Western civilization finally reached a level of cognitive, philosophical, and technological sophistication starting in the Renaissance and accelerating into the Enlightenment to develop a deeper understanding of anxiety. I have sifted through books, articles, and videos to come up with a useful summary. And that's what I shall now talk about. This summary is a syntopical synthesis comprising what modern science, philosophy, religion, psychology, psychiatry, sociology, and self-help counselors have to offer. Postmodernity has cast humanity adrift in an indifferent and uncaring universe. Man is no longer considered the center and must adapt to a material, not a godlike, spiritual, or ideal view of reality, one in which life is a difficult power struggle. No wonder humans suffer from anxiety that increases as we suffer from disruptive separations. Here are the separations everyone experiences as we move through our lives. Separation at birth, from the womb, from our mother as we mature. Separation from our tribal-like family as we move away for more education or careers. Separation from society when we choose a more comforting lifestyle. And finally, separation caused by death. Dealing with anxiety is clearly a vexing problem, one for which no one-size-fits-all solution exists. The best approach is to utilize a philosophical guide from which we can pick what works for us. And one approach for handling anxiety would be to follow the teachings of Buddha. Many people say Buddhism and yoga, or Tai Chi, can help relieve anxiety. But to follow Buddhism requires a more passion and material wants-free lifestyle than perhaps most people want. Another approach for dealing with anxiety is existentialism, the philosophy first developed by Kierkegaard and extended by philosophers such as Sartre, Camus, and Foucault, as well as the theologian Paul Tillich. Existentialism acknowledges that we should embrace anxiety rather than feel there is something wrong with our anxiety feelings, because anxiety is simply part of the human condition. If we do this, we free ourselves to live a subjective and relative-oriented lifestyle instead of objective and absolute. We simply do the best we can by coping with our feelings of anxiety. And another approach comes from psychology and psychiatry. Anxiety stems from our libido, our internally generated primitive desires carried out through Freud's id, ego, and superego pieces of our psyche. Buried in the unconscious id are human flaws such as sexual desire for mother, hatred directed toward father, and the lust for power and control of others. For people who are troubled too much by anxiety, psychiatric counseling accompanied by medication can help. And I will end this podcast by giving the answer to this question I posed to ChatGPT. How can people deal with the anxiety modern life can cause? And here is its answer. A concise answer to the question is this, and it's based on the provided search results. Modern life can cause anxiety through factors like open office plans, constant connectivity, social media comparisons, poor prioritization, and environmental pollution. To deal with this anxiety, experts recommend several strategies. Take regular breaks from technology and social media to reduce stress from constant connection. Avoid comparing yourself to unrealistic standards on social media, and focus on the positive aspects of your own life. Improve time management and prioritization by making to-do lists and schedules. Engage in healthy, stress-relieving activities like exercise, meditation, and breathing exercises. Limit exposure to pollution by wearing masks and using earplugs when needed. Seek professional help from a therapist or a counselor if stress and anxiety become unmanageable. The key is to be proactive in identifying sources of stress and implementing coping mechanisms that work for your individual needs. I think that what this podcast has summarized regarding anxiety and anxiety management should be enough for most of us. But if you would like even more, the just published book, Anxiety, A Philosophical Guide by Samir Chopra, should be helpful. So there you have it. All that's left is for me to thank you for listening and say bye-bye until next time.